there, folks. It's Mr. Shick again. We're here to help you make a hexagon tessellation. These are the materials you're going to need. A pair of scissors. You're going to need your hexagon cut out right on those black lines. I've given you an extra one in your packet that I put out there for you. The original dots that we had on the other shapes, the dots aren't as pronounced on this guy. You'll need the hexagon paper that goes with it and a little bit of tape as well. All right, so this is how this works. You're going to want to take your hexagon that after you get it cut out, we're going to number the sides. There's 6 sides here, and you'll see there's 6 little lines. We use the lines for lining it up. We're going to number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going around in a circular fashion. The way this particular tessellation works is side 1 gets paired with 2, 3 goes with 4, and 5 goes with 6. I've got the handout that I put out there with you that shows the same diagram. When you cut something out of 1, you tape it onto 2 and vice versa. Anything cut out of 2 goes with 1. 3 and 4 go together, 5 and 6 go together. Generally, what I like to do is I start off and I just kind of dive in with the scissors. You want to make sure you do not cut off those original corners, those 2 dots. We're going to dive into side 1 with a pair of scissors. I'm just going to cut, I don't know, some kind of triangle shape out of here. And I'm going to cut out the little line that was on there, just like so. Whatever you cut out of side 1, it's going to rotate 121 degrees on the inside, or 240 if you go around the outside. And we're going to line up the line that was on 1 with the line that's on 2. This one's pretty subtle when it comes to taping it on there. Just a tiny little piece of tape. As always, it's better to put the tape on the small piece of paper first before trying to attach it to the big one. So I've got my piece of tape. Take that guy, put it on there. We're going to tape this on so those lines line up right there with side number 2. Also, as always, it's a good idea to go ahead and put a piece of tape on the back as well, because you're going to use the shape a bunch. I kind of get this guy sticking right out there like that. Make sure the tape doesn't go over the edges. Secured. So 1 goes with 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut something out of, I think you can go 3 to 4 or 4 to 3. This one I think I'm going to go 4 to 3. I'm going to kind of try and make it a little different than the first one. I'm going to make it sort of a little rounded dome sort of thing. So I'm going to turn it as I'm cutting and make sure that I don't cut off the corners. I can cut to the corner, just don't cut the corner off. Whatever I cut out here, just like so, it's going to rotate around and it's going to attach on side 3 right there. I'm going to try and purposely make it a little bit different than the side 1 that you cut out. People have a tendency to make those look the same, then it becomes harder to trace. Put the piece of tape here on the smaller piece of paper first. Attach whatever I cut out of 4 goes with 3, or whatever you cut out of 3 goes with 4. This is one that it doesn't hurt to do a couple practice ones, or I've given you extra paper here. You've got an extra one of these guys. Doesn't hurt to try and do it more than once if you're not happy with the shape that you end up with at the end here. Okay, piece of tape front and back. Last but not least, we got to do 5 to 6. Whatever I cut out of 6 goes onto 5, or 5 goes onto 6. I'm going to cut out, I think, more of a rectangular sort of shape here, just to, I don't know, just to see what we get, So I'm cutting out a chunk out of side 5, right out of the middle there. It's going to rotate around and attach right here onto side 6. Take my small piece of tape, tape it to the small piece first, I believe will work best. Little tape there. A little tape on there and attach that guy, and then try and do the same in the back. Boy, that's going to be kind of crazy looking, but we'll run with it. We'll see what happens here. Okay, a little piece of tape in the back there. That's about perfect size. And there I have a tessellating hexagon shape. The dots that are on here, I'm going to take my thin little purple pen. I'm going to line up the dots, the original dots that were on this guy, and just go around and trace. Let's see what it looks like. I don't know what kind of thing I've made here, what sort of animal or bird or car or airplane, or I don't know. I made a something anyway. Keeps go around, trace, trace, trace. Maybe it looks like a house. Maybe it looks like maybe it looks like an amoeba. Sometimes, you can't help it. You end up with amoebas now and then, folks. That's just kind of that's the nature of the beast. What did I get? Oh, I don't know. It kind of looks like well, I'm seeing a dinosaur. Here's his legs, his tail. There's like, fin on the back. There's a head over here. Some kind of animal anyway. When you go to trace it again, it's always important. As I've told you before, you definitely don't want to try and fit this perfectly in the hole. You want to make sure these dots on the far side of the shape are lined up before you trace every time. Don't have to trace all 6 sides because I've already done one of them. So here I am tracing the other 5 sides of the hexagon because I don't need to go back and do that other one that I've already done. Dun, dun, dun. After I get this guy on here, all traced up. I'm going to purposely do this one. It's right next with the others. You'll notice it'll only fit in one way, and I just dropped it on the floor. There we go. Okay, so it will only fit into one way, sort of the shapes right there. You can see that fits right into there. Don't try and line up the lines. It's way more important, as always, to try and line up the dots with your shape on the corners, the 6 original dots. Don't worry about making this match perfectly. And we're going to keep just tracing right here. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely have an animal. I made 2 legs right there of some sort. And you can just keep tracing all the way around. I'm not going to retrace these sides. I've already got those guys. And you fill in the dots. As always, if you want to do the entire page, even out beyond the dots, worth an extra credit point. If you want to try and do your art on the side over here, so that you don't have dots in the middle of your art on this hexagon paper, it's a little more pronounced, that it's easier to maybe see, or harder to see those dots so they don't show up in your artwork so much. If you take a plain white sheet of paper, as always, and you flip it under here, it makes it a little easier to see those dots. These ones are pretty tough. If you have a dark colored, this is my kitchen table, granite table. If you have a dark colored table, it doesn't contrast enough. If you have a lighter colored table, it's going to be easier to see. So maybe you have a coffee table or your kitchen or your dining room table or something that would be a little bit better. But that, in essence, is how we create the hexagon tessellation. If you got any questions, as always, go ahead and hit me up. You could look back at the original piece of paper that shows the instructions on how to create the hexagon here. This is sort of helpful. And enjoy.